Good morning and welcome to the Terry College of Business Graduate Convocation. At this time, we ask all guests and graduates to please stand as you are able for the procession of the platform party to the stage.
I'm Ben Ayers, Dean of the Terry College of Business, and it's my pleasure to welcome you, students, family, friends, and honored guests, to the graduate convocation for doctoral and master candidates from the Terry College of Business. Today, we celebrate the achievements of the class of 2022. The candidates that are sitting in front of me are deservedly proud of reaching this major milestone in their lives, as graduate school is the pinnacle of higher education. As graduates of the University of Georgia and the Terry College of Business, you are joining a proud tradition of academic excellence and personal and professional leadership. Degrees in business have been conferred by the University of Georgia for over 100 years, and indeed it's a remarkable history, characterized by durability, adaptability, and graduates who both serve and lead effectively in their professions and in their communities. Every year throughout our history, the business education that we've developed has evolved and has changed with the times. It's been our expectation of you as graduate students that you developed and you've sharpened an analytical mindset, a deeper understanding of team dynamics and leadership, a curiosity around innovation, and an openness to new approaches and novel thinking, a greater appreciation for ethical practices and sustainable growth, and a willingness to ask questions and solve complicated problems, not only for your clients and for your colleagues, but also in your communities. Our faculty, your instructors, and major professors have traveled down this path along with you into curiosity, inquiry, and discovery. They are recognized for their impactful research and their excellence in instruction. And Terry's academic programs have been elevated by their national reputation. Currently, 13 of our programs are ranked among the nation's best, including 7 of our academic programs that are ranked in the top 10 among public business schools. So what this all means for you, our graduates, is that your program of study has developed in you the perspective, the skills, and the confidence to be effective leaders in the companies and organizations that you will represent and the businesses that you will build. Your success is vitally important to all of us. Now it's my honor to introduce the platform party representing the faculty who taught you and the academic leaders who have supported you along the way. As I introduce each individual, I'll ask them to please stand and to remain standing, and I'll ask the audience to please hold your applause until everyone on the stage has been introduced. We begin with Randy Grooms, Director of Diversity Relations, Linda Reed, Director of Executive Programs, Marcus Kuhner, Director of the Masters of Marketing Research Program, Craig Piercy, Director of the Masters of Business and Technology Program, Jennifer Chapman, Director of the Masters of Accountancy Program, Susan Brown, Executive Director of the Executive MBA and Professional MBA Program, John Hullen, Head of the Marketing Department, Rick Watson, Regents Professor in the Management Information Systems Department, Bob Vandenberg, Head of the Management Department, Rob Hoyt, Head of the Insurance, Legal Studies, and Real Estate Department, Annette Polson, Meg's Professor in the Finance Department, Chris Cornwell, Head of the Economics Department, Sarah Fraker, Senior Director for Finance and Administration, Shantanu Chatterjee, Associate Dean for Diversity, International and Master's Programs, and Director of the Full-Time MBA Program, as well as the Masters of Science in Business Analytics Program. Mike Farr, Associate Dean for Research and Executive Programs, Henry Munike, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Programs, and today's keynote speaker, Debbie Story, President and CEO of the AT&T Performing Arts Center in Dallas, Texas. In addition to the distinguished faculty and guests on stage, there are a number of Terry professors that are here today. Our students have benefited greatly from the opportunity to learn from these outstanding educators, and I ask that all faculty please stand and be recognized. We are so pleased today to have Debbie Story serve as our keynote speaker. Debbie is the president and the CEO of the AT&T Performing Arts Center. She oversees a 10-acre campus and 3 venues that are home to the Dallas Opera and a number of theater and dance companies, as well as a destination for Broadway productions, concerts, and many headline acts. Before taking a lead role in the performing arts, Debbie enjoyed a long and distinguished career with AT&T's corporate office. Throughout her 33 years at AT&T, she held numerous positions across all parts of the business, including roles in customer service, sales, marketing, operations, and HR. After retiring from AT&T, Debbie wrote and published her book, Don't Downsize Your Dreams, which offers leadership inspiration for women. Debbie holds 2 degrees from the University of Georgia, including an MBA from the Terry College of Business. She is an Emeritus Alumni Board member and now serves on the Terry Dean's Advisory Council. Debbie is a great friend. She is a mentor and advisor both to the Terry College and to the students that we educate. Please join me in welcoming Debbie Story.
Thank you, Dean Ayers. Good morning, everyone. I am incredibly honored to be here with you for your commencement from one of the finest business schools in this country. Isn't this a great time to be a Bulldog? To today's graduates, congratulations. What you've achieved has required a significant amount of hard work, sacrifice, and perseverance. You deserve to feel a tremendous sense of pride today and perhaps a little relief that it's behind you now. I'm a proud double dog, as the dean said. I received my undergraduate degree in 1980, and then 26 years later, I earned a master's degree through the Terry EMBA program. Why did I wait so long, you're now asking? I'd always wanted to get my MBA, but life happened. I got a great job right out of undergrad. I got married, my career took off, I got divorced, I became a single mom, so there just wasn't time to pause and get my MBA. But I never stopped dreaming of getting the MBA, so I decided that when my son went off to college, that was going to be my time, that I would go back to school then for my MBA. I always teased my son and said, wouldn't it be fun if we could walk to class together? Yeah, he didn't find that very funny. And now that I think about it, it could be why he chose to go to school in Arizona. I don't know. Choosing Terry was one of the best decisions that I have ever made. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that I would not have had the opportunities that I've been given. I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't pursued my Terry MBA. So graduates, I'm confident that you chose a path that will serve you very well in life, no matter what direction it takes you. So again, congratulations. When I was asked to be today's speaker, my mind immediately took a little trip down memory lane as I thought about pivotal moments in my life and my career. When I look back, I can see that there were a lot of things that I did right, but I can also see a lot of things that I wish I had known, a lot of things that I wish someone had told me. So what I want to share with you this morning is some of those insights, things I would tell my younger self. The first thing, character and reputation matter more than proving you're the smartest person in the room. In my early 30s, I was a vice president of operation in Bell South's telephone directory division. Some of y'all don't even know what those are. One day I got a call from the high-ranking executive who ran the company's network organization. So in my role in the directory division, I didn't have any interaction with the network team. It was a completely separate part of the business. I knew who this executive was, but I'd never met him, so I was really surprised by the call. He told me that he had a job open on his team and he wanted me to interview it for it. Now, again, I knew nothing about network, so I really assumed this was probably just a courtesy call. He was checking a box. Someone must have told him he had to interview someone on the high potential list. But of course, I set a date to meet with him. I was really nervous when I arrived in his office for the interview because I knew nothing about network, so I didn't even know how to begin the conversation. So I sort of began by rambling on a bit about my background and my experience, my accomplishments, my interest in learning about other parts of the business. And about 10 minutes into the interview, he paused me and he said, hold on a minute. I'm not sure you understand what this meeting is about. And I went, oh gosh, I've probably embarrassed myself, and here we go. He's going to tell me that this was just a courtesy conversation, that I'm not qualified to take on a big network job. Instead, he said, this is an opportunity for you to interview me to see if you want this job, because if you want it, the job is yours. So I was obviously stunned, and I said something that I would never advise any of you to say in an interview. I said, why me? And he said, you may not realize it, but you have an incredible network of supporters across this business. You have a reputation for being an authentic leader, for treating everyone with respect, for being collaborative and being willing to learn, and you have integrity. Then I said another thing you wouldn't typically say in an interview. I said, honestly, I really, truly know nothing about network operations. I'll never forget his response. It has stayed with me my entire career. He said, when given the choice, I'd choose character over intelligence any day. One of my early lessons that character actually matters. Think about how you want people to talk about you when you're not in the room. Your reputation can work for you, or it can work against you. Make sure yours is working for you. The second thing I would tell my younger self, don't settle. Don't live the life you think others expect of you. Immediately following AT&T's acquisition of Bell South, AT&T's chief human resource officer spent a lot of time getting to know the Bell South leaders who, like me, had survived the acquisition. I was leading a big operations team at the time, and each time we met, he'd ask me, what do you want to do next? Have you ever thought about moving into HR? And every single time, I'd say, I think my skills are best suited to leading large teams. And I'd name a few large operations jobs that other colleagues had said I should have my eye on. You see, I had developed a reputation as being really good at leading big teams. I was repeatedly asked to take on new big operations roles. I loved leading operations teams, and I knew I was good at it, but I had stopped dreaming about what I might want to do, and I had settled comfortably into a career path that was based on what others thought I should do. One day, the Chief Human Resource Officer invited me to lunch to catch up, and when we met, he was visibly shaken, and he said, "We're going to have to keep this short. I just had a huge curveball thrown at me, and I'm going to have to get back and meet with the chairman." I offered to reschedule our lunch, but he was determined that it was time for us to catch up. So we had a really nice time at lunch, and as we were wrapping up the lunch, he abruptly turned to me and said, "If you could have any job in this company, what would it be?" Now, no one had ever asked me that question before. What was my dream? But I already knew the answer. I wanted to be the Chief Diversity Officer and the head of talent development at AT&T University. It was one of the most coveted jobs in the entire company. The person in the role was relatively new in the role and doing a great job, and I thought she was never going to leave. And there was a long line of very successful leaders who wanted that job. So I had never even let myself consider that job as a possibility. Instead, I had comfortably settled into the career path that others expected of me. But he asked a question that allowed me to dream for a moment about what I wanted to do. When we went back to the office, 2 hours later, my phone rang. It was the Chief Human Resource Officer. He said, "Deb, right before our lunch, the Chief Diversity Officer walked into my office and resigned. When you told me at lunch that you wanted that job, I couldn't believe it. He said, someone up there is working to make this happen for you." I still get goosebumps when I think about the timing of that lunch conversation. In my 33 and a half years at AT&T, that job turned out to be my favorite role by far. It was literally my dream job. I helped drive a culture of equity and inclusion in a Fortune 10 company, a culture of learning and growth and opportunity for more than 250,000 employees worldwide. It was a role that filled me with so much passion and purpose. It was a role I felt I was made for. It allowed me to discover what I believe has been my purpose in life, helping others find the courage and confidence to pursue their dreams. I believe every one of us is put on this earth with a God-given talent, a talent that is uniquely yours. If you can find it and hone it, there is no limit to what you can achieve. So dream your dream, pursue your passion, live your life, not the life that others expect of you. Do you. That's the key to living a life of purpose and passion. The third thing I would tell my younger self, perseverance and resilience will be your secret weapons. Early in my career, I had the opportunity to attend conferences where I would hear successful leaders on stage sharing stories of their career success. I listened with awe and wonder at what it must take to rise to that level of success. I was absolutely convinced that these people were part of a rare species, that they were somehow more special, luckier, smarter than the rest of us. But as I got to know them, I realized they were actually just like the rest of us, except that they all have one thing in common, one secret weapon: perseverance. The most successful people are, without exceptions, the ones who have worked hard, who have faced adversity and persevered to overcome it. Right now, you guys are all charged up, you're ready to go, you're excited about your future, you have big dreams, you're ready to pursue your passions. But inevitably, along the way, you'll face obstacles that will trip you up and slow you down. The people who make it to the top, who bring their dreams to reality, who live a life of passion and purpose, are the people who get tripped up and slowed down, the people who fail, and they keep getting back up until they get it right. We all know stories about failure. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, Oprah Winfrey was fired from her early job as a television anchor. But each one of them got back up and kept trying until they got it right. And we don't remember the failures. We only recognize the successes that came from perseverance. I've experienced my fair share of failures in my career. I don't have time to talk about all of them today. One of the most cringeworthy failures happened very early in my career. I completely flubbed my very first public speaking opportunity on a very big stage. A little ironic given my position as your speaker today. When I walked off that stage, I knew I had failed, and I realized I had two choices. I could let myself be remembered and labeled as a very poor public speaker, or I could fix it and change the narrative. I chose to fix it. I enrolled myself in a painful public speaking course. I got very tough feedback. I learned and I practiced over and over and over again. And, well, hopefully what you'll remember about me today is the success that comes from hard work and perseverance. I've also experienced adversity in my personal life. I'm a cancer survivor. When I received that diagnosis 23 years ago, I wasn't sure that I'd ever leave the hospital after my surgery. I spent that time preparing my family for the possibility of life without me. But I didn't give up. I fought. I fought hard to survive. And I didn't do it alone. I leaned heavily on my family, my friends, and my faith to get me through that time. I don't know what I would have done without them. I've also lived through the tragedy of losing my only child when he was 25, my beautiful, kind, funny son, Chad. I owe my very survival, once again, to my family, friends, and faith. I can tell you that on more than one occasion in my life, those things have saved my life. Nurture them, and they'll always be there when you need them. And you will need them. Like me, you will stumble and fall. Like me, you will fail. Like me, you'll experience sadness and even loss in your life. But like me, you will have incredible joys and successes and highs in your life. When you experience the dark times, lean on others. Rely on your family, your friends, and your faith to help you face your uncertainty and push through your fears, and you will get stronger and braver than you could ever imagine. Choose to keep going because there are people around you who are rooting for you, and there is still so much joy in the journey ahead. My final message this morning, you all have a little bit of that I want to save the world in you. That's why you're here, graduating with an advanced degree from Terry. You are the leaders of tomorrow. You will have more power than you know to affect how other people feel about themselves. Choose to use that power for good. Choose to be kind to others and to yourself. As you embark on your journey to save the world, I want you to know that it's okay if you only save one person, and it's okay if that one person is you. So, my fellow Bulldogs, do you, because you are enough. Congratulations again, graduates. Thank you.
Debbie, thank you for the great advice and words of wisdom. We also thank you for your service to the Terry College and the great example that you set for all of us, including our graduates. And I've got a gift here for thanks for being our keynote speaker.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we will now begin the recognition of Terry College students who have completed the requirements for their graduate degrees. As graduates cross the stage to my left, you'll come up this side and exit to the right. You'll be presented with a cylinder that represents your home campus, whether that's here in Athens or in Atlanta. And we hope that you will display this keepsake proudly at your home or your offices. In the interest of COVID, as you walk past, feel free to fist bump or head nod or anything that you would like to do in the interest of health and safety. And so we will begin our recognizing our graduates now.
The PhD degree is the highest academic degree awarded by the university. Each doctoral student works under the supervision of a dissertation chair who, along with other members of the faculty, teaches them, guides the students' research, and mentors them in their careers. The candidates will be joined on stage by their dissertation chairs. In all, 17 students are receiving the Doctor of Philosophy degree. 10 of those students are with us this morning. The first student is Emma Lair Frank, receiving a doctoral degree in business administration. Her dissertation is titled The Double-Edged Sword of Micro-Confession Rituals at Work. Her major professor is Dr. Fadel Mata. Seeing that page. Looks like it's missing the page on this one. Hold on. A page is missing. Sorry, there's a page missing out of the thing here. I saw you somewhere, or maybe it's just... Our next student is Johannes Kutse Mare. His dissertation is An Assessment of Property Liability Insurer Performance. Major professor is David Eccles. Thank you. Next up, we have Hyunjung L. Yoon. Her dissertation is Celebrity on Board, Antecedents and Consequences of Celebrity Director Appointment. Major professor is Daniel L. Gamache. Next we have Samuel Owen Davidson. The dissertation is, do mandatory GAAP financial statements provide useful non-GAAP performance information? Major professor John L. Campbell. Next we have Young Tak Matthew Kim. Dissertation title is Essays on Sustainable Product Innovations, Firm Growth and Performance. Major professor is Sundar Bharadwaj. Next up, we have Soo-Young Kim with the dissertation, Essays on Market Disruptions and Marketing. Major professor Sundar Bharadwaj. Next, we have Lana Kurepa Washka. Dissertation title, Marketing in the Consumer's Interest, Fairness, Visual Perception, and Cognitive Processing. Major professor is Marcus Cunha. Next, we have Nick Smith. Dissertation title is Public and Private Responses to Default and Foreclosure. Major professor Henry Munnicke. Next up, we have Scott Peter Spitzy. Dissertation title is 3 Essays on Macroeconomics with Search Frictions. Major professor Martin Gervais. Next up, we have Fan Liang. Dissertation title is Essays in Frictional Asset Markets. Major professor Martin Gervais. And next we have Keshab Sharma. Dissertation title is Essays on Health Economics. Major professor Joshua Lewis Kinsler. Please join me in congratulating these PhD graduates for their high scholastic achievements. We will now recognize the students who have completed the requirements for master's degrees. The marshals are escorting these students to the stage. Degree candidates will not necessarily be called in alphabetical order. And we ask that the audience not to applaud individual candidates so that family and friends are able to hear the names of each student as it is read. We will join together with applause after all graduates within each degree program have been announced. Professor Jennifer Chapman will join Dean Ayers on stage as we recognize the following students who have completed the requirements for the Master of Accountancy. Please cross the stage as your name is called. Kristen Elizabeth Perkle. Carson Lee Sewell. Audrey Lee Knowles. Emma Nicole Goff. Dalton Lee Trampnow. Cameron Charles Langell. Theodore Lynn Akamasi. Logan Dean Chalfie. Megan Elizabeth Smith. Caroline Linnell Coltharp. Sarah Ann DeFries. Ina Tahirovich. Madeline Elizabeth Jenkins. Abigail Ann Park. Emma Virginia Murchek. Lily Rose Durning. Skylar Renee Holt. Trey Allen Chastain. Kevin Dean Wilderman. Spencer Ford Melcher. Daniel Tyler Lane. Van Hurley. Robert J. Hothersaw. William Gallagher McBrien. Jackson Kermit Rizzi. Jackson Edward Deacle. Bryce Austin Daniels. Kevin Liu. Hyungso Han. Thomas J. Huff. Cody Dean Anderson. Jacob Daniel Johns. Miller Irvin. Alexandra Nicole Romo. Charlotte Isabella Stylberg. Caroline Jernigan. Martha McGuire Fitzgerald. Carson Gibbs. Greer Pitchard. Abigail Ann Sheely. Graham Keenan Day. Daniel Evan Brennan, Justine Tan, Emilio Enrique Morales, Douglas Kuchin, James Crosno, Grace Catherine Buckle, Helena Andrea Burke, Caroline McDowell Dempsey, Kwanzaa Akili Robinson, Luke Julian Volkamer, Carson Mullen, Clayton Chadwick Hardin, Justin Tim, Jordan Cruz Conley, Anthony Braden Kendall, Joel Wyman Harvard, Hannah Lee Poe, Taylor Brooke Foreman, Madison Blair McPherson, Emma Elizabeth Morrison, Madison Lee Hall, Bennett William Rowan, Cameron Thomas Self, Matthew Stephen Ingram, Jack Frank, Matthew Ryan DeRusha, Taylor Michael Cook, Andrew Calvin Todd, Katerina Marie Stagel, Caroline Lee Henderson, Macy Keenan Trigo, Yusha Shrestha, Caroline Ansley Smith, Thomas Gregory Adams, Leah Marie Cote, Taylor Nicole Hennessy, Hamish Orvaline, Turner J. Ashby, Isabel Morgan Arenas, Jonathan Tyler Anderson, Grace Helen Zimmerman, Ali Elizabeth Gauthier, Addison Janelle Reeves, Brooke Elizabeth Rothwell, Mara Grace Vanderwilly, Amanda Lynn McDaniel, Daria Brianne Sweat, Madeline Claire Cowell, Catherine Michelle Meadows, Taylor Nicole Adams, Connor William Shea, Alexis Nicole Seward, Morgan Janae Scott. Juliana Marie Lashley. Laura Rose Wallach. Elizabeth Noel Merchant. Jordan Celia Landress. Deborah Nicole Jacobs. Jordan Ashley Freeman. Aubrey Elizabeth Richardson. Emma Lales. Kayla Nicole Frazier. Francis Glenn Adamson. Anna Noel Wooten. Elizabeth Brooks Hurst. Davia Yannick Campbell. Javaris Jamar Askin. Please join me in congratulating these graduates of the Master of Accountancy degree program. Dr. Chris Cornwell will join Dean Ayers on stage as we recognize the following students who have completed the requirements for the Master of Arts in Economics. Robin Evelyn Anzulis. Robert Stroud Payne. Miranda Gomez Puche. Bismarck Yeboah. Please join me in congratulating these graduates of the Master of Arts in Economics degree program. Dr. Marcus Cunha will join Dean Ayers on stage as we recognize the following students who have completed the requirements for the Master of Marketing Research. Kyle Douglas Maddock. Joseph William Logan. Hunter Christian White. James Kyle Butler. Carter Frost Glenn. Angela Noel Jordan. Sarah Layton Howie. Santiago Medina. Alexis Marie Biondi. Isaac Robert Seppel. Madison Katie Henson. Mariana Del Rio Flores. Brianna Joy Blankhorst. Shanice Louise Miles. Savannah Nicole Peyton Hutzel. June Ern Wong. Katie Elizabeth Creech. Catherine Grace Landers. Julia Ellen Kornetsky. Carrie Ann Koenig. Sarah Ann Dillon. Alexa Young Schwartz. Caroline Grace Frizzy. Taylor Parker. Natalie Erin Beauchesne. Please join me in congratulating these graduates of the Master of Marketing Research degree program. Dr. Santanu Chatterjee will join Dean Ayres on stage as we recognize the following students who have completed the requirements for the Master of Science in Business Analytics. Alexandria Michelle Curtis. Connor Wade Best. Lawson Burke Smith. Landon Scott Hicks. Amy Jiun Lee. Jared Wannenberg. David Tryon. Deshaun Raheem Jameson. Chris Gauthier. Gordon Maxwell McDonald. Bridget Ann Cherbach. Mary Grace Coyle. Madeline Elizabeth Copeland. Andrew Richard Anderson. Louisa Felicia Rieger. Natalie Jeske. Max Emil Senoff. Karen Jane Stubbs. Davis Lee Layton. Anna Catherine Harris. Ian Aramburu. Chloe Wade. Stephanie Harms. Nkeche Okoreke Tone. David Reed McBride. Allison Adams. Rosemary Albanese Harden. Alexis Rose Parks. Ramatulai Jain. Paige Noel Gossett. Victoria Korotkov. Declan Jones. Avery Fowler Bowman. Morgan Claire Piontek. Stephanie Jean Meyer. Mary Grace Green. Jamal Alexander Joseph Nana Ansa. Sabina Ashurova. Braden Christopher Hughes. James McLean Lytle. Vincent Belcastro. Matthew David Gadecki. Peter Hess. Tyler Hoylman. John Dalmolin. Jeffrey James Dermer. Faiz Juneja. Karun Anthony. Aminur Ali. Ishan Kalra. Nipuna Ambupolu. Isaiah Stephen Williams. William Shelton. Jacob Dayton Woolard. Barry Alexander Thurmond. Gabriel Fontana. Robert Johnston Anderson. Adia Doris. Daniel Huber. John Austin Moore. Jacob Sheely. William Hunter Townsend. Jackson Ryan McCann. Caitlin Rose Carroll. Talia Cohen. Aaron Webb. Claire Elizabeth Plochet. Please join me in congratulating these graduates of the MSBA degree program.
Dr. Craig Piercy will join Dean Ayers on stage as we recognize the following students who have completed the requirements for the Master of Business and Technology. Daniel Minahan. Christina June Tomter. Casey Leanne Powell. Akash Raj Sinha. Alvin Johnson. Brandon Chance Reese. Tisha Rochelle Josephs. Jeffrey Edwin Ayersman. Marlon Shaquille Lowry. Gary Douglas Leandre. Emily Catherine Motts. Samuel Trent Pennington. Shayna Daya Patel. Kyle Walker. Chadwick Hurd. Karan Levette Randolph. Ruperto Tiran Mitchell. Ansley Noel Howes. Thomas Edward Gray. Joseph Charles DeModna. Matthew Paul Hannock. Robert Ewell Carlisle, Jr. Vijay Kumar Kushwaha. Kevin Dwyer Marshall. Ryan Taylor Wiley. Please join me in congratulating these graduates of the Master of Business and Technology degree program. Dr. Shantanu Chatterjee will rejoin Dean Ayres on stage as we recognize the following students who have completed the Master of Business Administration. We begin by recognizing students completing the Master of Business Administration in the full-time program. Nicholas Christopher Shaw. Samuel Walton Parker. Zachary Kenneth Rutt. Jean Carlo Zamora. Daniel William Palmer. Robert Parker Wiley. Mohit Kumar. Viraj Nikhil Patel. Jackson Walker Perry. Brandon Connor Bass. Kayla Rose Ward. Gabrielle Elizabeth Alucio. Taylor Brittany Brown. Shannon Kathleen Castleton. Adrian Robbins. Galela Najera Garcia. Davis George Anderson Wilson. Matthew Reed Smith. Ethan Christopher Laddie. Matthew Daniel Whitley. Jason Randall Hedrick. Eric Hamilton Roddy. Peter Collins Sisterson III. Colleen Margaret Kelleher. Margaret Reed Huffman. Michael Gordon Eggy. Jeffrey Charles Wolfe. Patrick Ronald Sorrentino. Stephen Jacob Wall. Jason Gilella. Brian Alejandro Jimenez. Philip Chasen. Nicholas James Collins. Ashley Jordan Aziz. Crystal Narain Umila. Bethany Ann Chapman. Mason Thomas Strain. Brad Daniel Greason. Jacob Thomas Callahan. Jonathan Galt Gardner. Anya Hibb Gardner. Michael Joseph Johnson. Kayla Snipes Vickers. David Andrew Riddle. Jacob Lay. Nicholas Alexander Trevina. Matthew Dean Welker. Sierra Janae Calloway. Oksana Zuma. William Logan Joins. Kathleen Starr Hostler. Stephen Philip Epling. Frederico Werner. Elizabeth Maria Lowe. Michael Allen Scott. Nathan Alexander Schofer. Alan Wiltshire. Joseph Patrick Quirk. Ronald Luke Rabin. Rajesh Kumar Sivan. Carson Gregory Walters. Ulawage, oh Benga, I'm sorry. Benga Enoch. Rahil Barket Panwaji. Vishaka Tiwari. Matthew Alexander Hauser. Please join me in congratulating these graduates of the full-time MBA program. Susan Brown will join Dean Ayers on stage as we recognize the following students who have completed the requirements for the Master of Business Administration in the Executive Program. Clement Chandler McDavid. Stanley Goldberg. Heather Renee McKinney. Raquel Yvonne Miller. Scott Thompson. Michael Chin. Benjamin Craig Carter. Robert Allen Johnson. Robert Douglas Goodrow. Leslie Douglas. Benedito Pinto. Christopher Gemmer. James Keith Metcalf. Susan Renee Masters. Kanupriya Dubé. Robbie Tally Lowry. Stanley Okuro. William Christopher Johnson. John Casey Riles. Jeremy Brandon Fish. Daniel Patrick Staten. Connor Patrick McCarthy. Julie Samsel. Edem Avoki. Jimmy Fowler. Spencer Ryan Parker. Nikki Ian Booth. Ryan Thomas Hochwater. Courtney Brooke Cool. Judy King Ware. Tamil Barrett. Coy Nakia Epps. Holly Michelle Mueller. Christina Robson Prater. Thomas Allen Van Kempen III. Eric Lloyd Williams. Bruce Sheridan Skinner. Dan Bergdahl. Jatari Carey Settles. Bakari Eugene Burton. Derek Edward Johnson. Omar Kareem Danner. Madhusudan Yaparla. Please join me in congratulating these graduates of the Executive MBA program. We will now recognize our final group of graduates. These are the students who have completed the requirements for the Master of Business Administration in the professional program. Taylor Taggart Reed. Daniel Pugh. Kevin Thomas Bayonet. Kimberly Renee Banks. James Dewey Burris II. Adam Joseph George. Nicholas Ashton Vaughn. Nicholas Mitchell Carvalho. Oscar Cortez Gonzalez. Brandon Larry Lark. Keme Juma Wahia Opara. I'm so sorry, honey. Cheryl Reed. Chantel Patrice Carter. Robert Lee Moore III. Deanna Porcello. Richard Patrick Gant. William Taylor Smith. Ari Lee Tatum. Justin Daniel Hicks. Zakishus Zaru Bayal Jackson. Noreen Anwara Huko Kareem. I don't know. Safwan Kareem. Camille Elizabeth Sales. Jason Rays. Susan Osnayo Gwilin. Xavier Allen Smith. Jonathan Monteris Moss. Connor Reed Graham. Hadley Caroline Cannon. Elizabeth Hopewell. Sonia Thapper. Giuseppe Andrea Sauto. Damien Antoine Dutay. Bradley Stephen Bostick. Nasir Ahmad Nasir. Michael Robert Gaunt. Christian Mario Perez. Fernando Jose Martinez. Stephen Michael Hurd. Feroza Ahmed. Priyanka Agarwal. Philip Isaiah Burns. Analia Pineda. Antonio Agracio Guido del Sesto. Elizabeth Morales Ramos. Rafaela Pinel Fernandez. Cortland Richard Carmona. Susanna Lee Hazley. Nicole Kathleen Dans. Jessica Renee Norrie. Amelia Clarissa Fratu. Emily Wilson Addison. Brian Edward Smith. Ryan Mohan Artman. DeConti Barbara Callie. Erica Denise Solomon. Meng Wang. Camila Mohammed. Sunghyun Lee. Bhupendra Ashwin Patel. Emery James Williams. Brian Dane White. Lydia Caitlin Smith. Michelle Kim. Dana Michelle Saunders. Bridget Lasha Crawley. Melody Alicia Goodwin. Philip Atoyabi. Ali Mithavanyani. Philip Allen Henderson. Sophie Bullard Guerrero. Olumuyiwa Victor Adedamor Oluforsoye. I'm sorry. Ugochi Rose Carnuvi. Monday Frank Okite. Claire Elizabeth Flochet. Please join me in congratulating these graduates of the Professional MBA program. And once again, congratulate all students who have completed the requirements for master's degrees from the Terry College of Business just one more time.
Graduates, congratulations on a job very, very well done. You are joining a very important professional network, the 75,000 alumni of the Terry College and over 300,000 alumni from the University of Georgia. I hope that all of you will help us to continue to enhance the education and the opportunities for future generations of Terry students. Today would not have been possible without the support of your family and your friends, so graduates, please join me in thanking them. We hope to see you and your guests again tomorrow morning when the university confers your degrees at the graduate commencement. That ceremony will begin at 9:30 a.m. right here in Stegeman Coliseum. We'll now close our ceremony with a recessional of the platform party. Graduates and guests, if you'll please remain at your seats until the platform party has left the Coliseum floor. You may exit when you hear the National Championship Georgia fight song. Please rise.